Alright, hello guys, it's me, Sam. Welcome back to another video, and today we are here inside of Madden NFL 27 franchise mode, and it took me a while to figure out what theme we were doing, because there's a lot of fun themes this year to do in Madden for a rebuild. Some of the teams I thought of were the Cleveland Browns. You know, they have a nice little roster of guys. They need a quarterback. They did draft Shador Sanders, or they did trade away Myles Garrett. They did get Jared Verse. I thought about maybe doing the Jets, because the Jets are rebuilding, and they don't have a lot of talent on that team, but they have a lot of guys who could be works in progress. I thought about the Raiders with Fernando Mendoza, but I did the Raiders last year. And I thought about the Titans, but the team I'm doing for this year is the Miami Dolphins. So the reason I'm doing the Dolphins... So the reason I'm doing the Dolphins is because they're in kind of a tough spot. So they kind of gutted out all their team in the offseason. They traded away Jalen Waddle. They cut Bradley Chubb, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill. They fired Mike McDaniel and their GM, Chris Greer. So this is a brand new, fresh start. And this is the team I want in a franchise. And they got a new head coach, too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the same coach as is, Jeff Hafley. We're going to just change these things. So pretty much everything's going to, stay the same. We're just going to keep all this the same pretty much, and we're gonna start in the preseason. We got Jeff Hafley as the head coach, first-year head coach, former Packers defensive coordinator the last 2 seasons, but now he takes over as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So there's a bunch of new faces there's a bunch of new things in franchise this year. So we got a new hub thing that'll tell us stuff for the week, that'll give us player information and stuff. But before we do anything, I want to go through the roster. So we're going to start here, break it down by position. So the new quarterback here is Malik Willis. Malik Willis signed a 3-year, $67 million contract with the Dolphins in the offseason to be their quarterback. I don't think he's going to be our starter for the future, per se. But I think he's going to be the guy at least this year, next year. Maybe we try to snatch a quarterback up. It's fairly cheap, too, so we could move him if we wanted to. He had a great showing with Green Bay in the last 2 seasons, being their backup when Jordan Love got hurt. So now this is the guy who, at least for right now, is going to lead our team. But if he goes down, we're kind of screwed, because we got Quinn Ewers, Mark Gronowski, who used to play at Iowa, and Cam Miller. Running back, this is probably the strength of the offense. Devon Achane, he's only 24. They just gave him a new contract. He's going to be the guy we build around in this franchise. Like I say, he's only 24. We're going to actually give him the captain's patch. So he's going to be the captain of this team. And I want to keep him here through the course of this rebuild. My goal is to do like a 5 or 6 season rebuild. So keep that in mind there. He's a superstar depth, so he's definitely got a... We do have a solid backup option, though, in Ollie Gordon. I know they drafted him last year, and he had a decent showing as a rookie. Just maybe get him the ball a bit and go from there. He's a power back compared to Achane, elusive back. Then we just got some other guys who are going to battle for roster spots. They cut Alec Ingold, too, so they don't have a fullback. And this receiving core is probably, it's going to be a weakness for the squad. The number 1 receiver is Tutu Atwell, the former Ram. We just have a bunch of quality backups. Jalen Tolbert, who played with the Cowboys last year. And the guy who was on the squad last year, had a pretty decent year, was Malik Washington. Then we got Chris Bell, who's a rookie. Project player. They got him from Louisville. So I think he's got some potential. So hopefully get him involved as soon as possible so we can get those stats up and hopefully, turn him into something. Caleb Douglas, too, got him from Texas Tech. Hope we can turn him into something as well. Maybe build him up and do a solid 2 or 3. Then Jalen Rager's still on the team, which is interesting. Tight end wise, Greg Dulcich. He was a guy who he had a good amount of potential to his name. Wasn't anything special, but did have some potential to his name. When the Dolphins originally signed, or when the Broncos drafted him, he just didn't pan out. He nothing more than a backup. So like I said, this offense does need a lot of work. We do got Will Kaepernick, who went to Ohio State. He's definitely a project player too. Gonna hopefully try to get him involved a bit more, bump those stats up, get him. He's more of a possession tight end. So, O-line, it's probably the strength as well. Patrick Paul had as a borderline starter, definitely. Okay, Kalen Proctor, they drafted him with the number, I think, forgot where they drafted him, but he was from Alabama. So, he's definitely going to be an anchor of this O-line. Hopefully he can be a piece there for the next few years, rising star. Aaron Brewer, he's 28. What's his contract situation looking like? Okay, so he's just got a 4-year contract. I might move him. It depends on where we are. And if I need draft picks, then I might move Aaron Brewer. But for right now, he's going to be the star. He's only 28 years old. He's going to be the star of this O-line. And then the right side of the O-line is going to be the issue. Although we have Austin Jackson. He's a quality backup, so I don't know. Offense or defense, Chop Robinson. He's a star dev, 75 overall. He's been hit or miss. I don't know, he's going to get a lot of playing time as the number 1 edge on this side. David Ojabo, too. So we got the team's just really young. Josh Uche on the other side. He spent some time with the Patriots. Never really amounted to much, so I might move him. We'll see. What's his contract situation looking like? I might move him down the line. Yeah, he's got 1 year on his contract. If he's playing well enough, we might flip him at the trade deadline. Our D tackles, we got Zach Sealer. If I butchered his name, I'm sorry. 8 years of experience. He's 30 years old. Gonna be the anchor of this D line. He's pretty much played for Miami. With the exception of 2018, he's been an anchor on the Miami defense. He's got a nice 4-year contract. I might try to flip him though while his value's high, just because he is getting older. So I might try to flip him while I can. Willie Gay stays there. Jordan Brooks, in a similar situation, I might flip him too. He's been really good though. But we got a nice solid rookie from Texas Tech, Jacob Rodriguez. This guy could be a lethal weapon on the defense, especially under Jeff Hafley. He's a rising star, had a really great college career at Texas Tech. And we got this. This corner room's going to get cooked. I mean, we got Chris Johnson, who they got from San Diego State. He's also a rising star. I think he's going to amount to something. I hope we can turn him into something and hopefully build him into like that next great Miami corner. And then got a bunch of roster battles. Daryl Baker, Juju Brent, who's star dev. I might try to get him more involved. He's 26, so. Lonnie Johnson, they brought him in from the Raiders. He's older, so. So we're probably going to lose a lot of games. We're going to cut the kicker. We don't need 2 kickers. Got Brandon Pinion as a punter. Draft picks. Alright, so it looks like we got 8 draft picks in 2027. And then the regular 7 in 2028 and 2029. Definitely going to try to definitely going to try to bump these numbers up. Definitely going to bump these numbers up. I don't want to have just nine draft picks. I can have more. We don't have a lot of cap space either, so it's a lot to work with. Let's just see who there is in free agency. I mean, oh my goodness, hold on. Okay, time to see who we got in free agency, just in case you wanna bring anybody in, just to help us. I'm not gonna look at getting like any of these guys, but we pretty much need help anywhere. Maybe another receiver could help us. I know Deebo Samuel just signed with the 49ers in real life, so I'm not going to sign him. I'm not even looking for anybody realistic. I just want to get a cheaper option, but we can also, I just want to see who else is out there that we could also add. Joey Bosa would be a nice add, but I don't want to pay him 1 year. I don't want to pay him for 1 year. I just want to get guys who can maybe fill out the spots for this year. It's not going to be anybody. It's not going to be anybody special. I just want to look for guys. Get some young guys on this squad. You know what? I think I'm willing to do this. I think I'm willing to give Kenny. I think I'm willing to give Kenny Moore. I think I'm willing to give Kenny Moore a 1-year contract. We'll give him $7 million. I'm not willing to pay him. We'll raise his salary. If not, okay. Alright, so Kenny Moore is going to be on this team as our new CB1. I just want, mainly, I'm going to be honest, the only reason I signed him is so that way we can flip him. Only reason I signed him is so that way we can flip him at the trade deadline. That's really the only reason why I signed him. Because now we can flip him at the trade deadline, assuming he does well. We're going to move him to that one spot. I think we're going to move Brent so that way Brent can continue to develop and we move him into that 3 spot. So now we can take a look at some of the hubs. So preseason work, we will get some extra training in for our young rookie Jacob Rodriguez. See what these things entail. I didn't know we were going to actually, but here we are. We completely whiffed. Alright, so we're going to try this again. Jacob Rodriguez. And Jacob Rodriguez takes him down. I'm not going to play this, actually. We're just going to let our staff handle Jacob Rodriguez. Oh. So we're just going to do that. And we're going to do some upgrades too. We got a lot of guys who need upgrades. And I think we're actually going to, play a bit of our preseason game. We're only going to play offense, though, because I don't want to play just defense, because then I would crash out. But I am ready to just play offense. So let's see how this team is going to work here with playing the Washington Commanders. So I think I'm just going to structure this series out. I think I'm going to do, I think how I'm going to structure this franchise is I think I'm going to do like 3 weeks at a time maybe as Malik Willis gets to Jalen Tolbert. And Tolbert is going to get all the way for 19 yards and a first down. So yeah, I think I'm going to do like maybe 2-3 weeks an episode, just so that way I can keep it moving a little bit and it's not just, this is an interesting formation. Give him the ball to Achan. Achan, gain of 2. And we're on the Commander's side of the field. There's Coach Halfley. And Malik Willis is going to get hit and lose some yardage on that play. Nada. Thought I could trust Malik's legs over there. We couldn't. And Malik Willis is going to toss the ball to Tolbert. And it's going to be 4th and 5. You know what? It's the preseason. It's the preseason. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. Coach Halfley said he wants to be more aggressive. And that's going to be caught by Parker Washington for a first down. So now we're at the 33-yard line. Willis gives the ball to Achan, and Achan would have had a gain, but that guy pushed him back. Now, the Commanders are in an interesting spot themselves, though, because the Commanders went 5-12 last year. They went 5-12 last year. They did let Bobby Wagner head to free agency. Achan is hurt. You know what? It's preseason. We're just going to let Ollie Gordon stay in the game. We're going to let Ollie Gordon get some carries. And Willis to Tolbert can't get it done. And so we're just going to settle for the field goal. Kick is up, and it is going to be good. So 3-0 Miami lead. All right. Washington scores. Malik Willis looks like he's hobbling a little bit. That's going to go to Greg Dulcich. And Gordon is going to get all the way to the 43-yard line. 22 yards on that gain. But yeah, the reason why I chose the Dolphins is because they fit the team that I felt like most aligned with what I'm doing, with what I want in my rebuilds. A team that either has like a dire quarterback situation or like they don't have a long-term guy. And a team that like is a project. Like I thought about doing like a team I thought about doing also was the Cardinals. But the Cardinals, have the Cardinals have a lot of like their skill positions already set. The Dolphins don't. Maybe one day I'll do a second franchise. Like if I do nothing, then I'll do a second franchise. But for right now, we're sticking with the Dolphins. We're gonna do the Dolphins. All right. So now Washington gets a chance to double their lead. They don't. And now it's Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers enters the game now. And Ollie Gordon. There's a yard right there. Yeah, I do want Gordon to get involved as much as possible in the run game. Just so that way, especially because this is going to be a run-heavy team, at least for the first year or two. It's going to be a run-heavy team. I don't think I'm going to go quarterback in this draft right away. It'll depend on where we pick. It'll depend on where we pick and like what we need. Because if Malik Willis has an okay year, if Willis has an okay year, then I see us holding on to him. And then we could draft, like a position of need. Or trade down if there's something we don't like. But if Willis is like terrible, I might do quarterback. Because I feel like Willis has a somewhat tradable contract. Like, it's not life-changing, but I think he has somewhat of a tradable contract. Like, where if he performs decent enough, a team would take on his contract for him to be the starter. But, right now, we're just kicking into gear here. Ewers dropping back. Ewers tries to get Rager and can't. So it's 3rd and 2 now. We got Rager and Marshall and Traore on the left. We got Bell on the right. Gordon in the backfield. Marshall makes a nice cut right there for a gain of 23 and a first down. There's 13 seconds though. Ewers takes the snap. Ewers, he's got Chris Bell. Bell can't hold on. And so we're just going to settle for the field goal. Gonzalez's kick is going to be up and no good. It bounces off the upright. Not a good showing. So here we go now. Miami gets the ball back, and now it's Gordon and Wright. Must have been a turnover or something. And Gordon pushes through, gain of 6 yards. It's definitely a battle for who the backup's going to be, though, because obviously we got Quinn Ewers, who's the favorite to be the backup, but we also got Mark Gronowski and Cam Miller. And Traore is going to get it for the touchdown. All right. I think I'm going to give Ewers maybe just this drive. And then go from there. Gordon's off to the races. Gordon. This is the Ollie Gordon show early. This might be the only preseason game I play, and then I'm probably going to simulate and get the regular season started. I just like to play the preseason, at least the first one, so I can, get to know the roster, know their style. And Ollie Gordon gets to the 27. Ewers did start 3 games for the Dolphins last year after they did bench Tua Tagovailoa due to inconsistent play. And Marshall makes a guy miss. He's to the 8-yard line. So, yeah, he's pretty much became the... So, this has pretty much became the... Okay. And Gordon is gonna get no gain on the play. So Mark Gronowski is now going to enter the game here for Miami. Spent time at Iowa. And that's going to be incomplete. It was almost caught by Terrence Marshall, but it wasn't. So now Miami faces 3rd and goal at the 8. Gronowski, the snap. To Rager. Rager's for the touchdown. All right. So far, I've liked what I've seen. The receivers are getting open. Ollie Gordon now. This is definitely going to be the last quarter with, Gordon and stuff, too. I want to get I want to try to get, some other guys involved as well. Marshall with a big grab right there. Gronowski's got a little bit of an arm. There might be some guys where instead of there might be some guys where instead of releasing them, we might just trade them. Gronowski could be one of those candidates where instead, or Ewers could just be one of those things where instead of just full on releasing some of these guys, we might just trade them. Get some value out of them if they've played well in the preseason. Obviously, I know we're not going to like Gronowski to Gordon. Gordon has Lane, and he's going to get a gain of 19. To the fourth quarter we go. It's 17-7 Dolphins lead. Okay, so now we're going to make some more flipping. We're going to flip some more guys. We're going to let Jalen White. We're going to let Jalen White cook. And we're also... I don't think Douglas ever got in the game. Nor did Coleman. We're going to let the young guys start. We're going to let the young guys start playing in this game more now, too. There you go. I like that setup. And the young guy, Bell, gets a reception right there for a gain of 8, and it's going to be 2nd and 2. A bunch of new faces in the game. Jalen Wright, first down to the 40-yard line. So let's see what we got here. Okay, we're going to motion Marshall. Jalen Wright makes the man miss, but can't get much going. There is an injury timeout. It's an injured Dolphin, so now Washington enters the game at running back. Gronowski. He's got a guy. He's got Douglas, the rookie, right there. Wide open. You might have to add another running back. Okay. Gronowski. And the ball's out, and Bell's going to scoop it. Touchdown. What awareness by Chris Bell, the rookie, to pick up that football. What awareness by Chris Bell right there. That's the kind of awareness you want in an NFL receiver. Dang, severe for Jalen Wright. I didn't even realize he was back in the game. All right, so probably going to move to 1-0 on the preseason. Gronowski, the snap. He gives it to Ben Sims, the former Packer tight end, who knew Hafley for parts of his 2 seasons in Green Bay. Sims was cut by Green Bay last year, signed with the Vikings, and now joins Jeff Hafley in Miami. Yeah, it's funny. There's a lot of new faces in Miami this year. They got a new GM. New GM added, and Johnny Eric Sullivan, who took over for Chris Greer. They obviously brought Jeff Hafley and Malik Willis, so they brought in a lot of the so they're trying to bring in a lot of the Packer philosophy. Gronowski, the snap. See if he's got the arm. Oh my goodness, what a reception by Douglas. What a play by Douglas. That's the kind of, and Douglas might have a future on this team, I'm not even going to lie. And Washington makes some guys miss, but really can't get much going otherwise. Gronowski with a nice showing, though, and Washington jukes a guy out, makes a man miss, gets to the 2-yard line. And Gronowski, Washington touchdown. That's going to seal the deal. That is going to seal the deal, and the Dolphins are going to move to 1-0 on the preseason. So, nice solid game by everybody. Gronowski finishes the game. I really liked what I saw. You know, the young guys showed up, so yeah, I think what we're going to do. So yeah, I'm excited for this franchise. I hope you guys are too. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.